Socialism is an economic political philosophy based on the idea that the benefits of economic activity, wealth, should be equitably distributed throughout a society. You guys know what happened between around this time compared to the present time? You guys didn't read or what?
The Industrial Revolution.
Industrialization.
Revolution. So the Industrial Revolution changed a lot of things.
So I'm going to throw out a question to you, sir. We know that there is arguments in history about the incredible awakening of the economic juggernaut that was the U.S. economy, and also of the social ills associated with it. More wealth was generated during the Industrial Revolution than the rest of the history combined. So much wealth was generated. And yet at the same time, during that enormous wealth infusion into the U.S., we saw a lot of disparity of wealth. I mean, and also the social fabric of America was totally changed. How do we reconcile these two things? How can we just be so amazed by the incredible wealth that was put into this country, and at the same time see the family breakdown and other social ills? Why do we view it so differently?
What are you talking about? How the people dealt with it?
I mean, as we look back, some people say it was the greatest thing that ever happened, and others saying it was a terrible thing.
Because the people that were working the farms were working in terrible conditions until they all gathered up and started to fight for better working conditions.
And even like kids, like the parents' kids, like they were working too. So that's why I think that if a family member was in that situation, they would look at it as the worst times.
Because it was possibly the worst working conditions and long hours.
And it was all to come back up, like you said, all this wealth was created, and it was all because all the inputs, or the hours of labor.
So, well, certainly labor was part of it, but because of technology and because of mechanization, Charles Dickens, didn't he say it was the best of times? It was the worst of times. It was the epic of belief. It was the epic of incredulity. It was the season of light. It was the season of darkness.
It's
it was
really
the spring of
opinionated.
hope. It was the winter of despair. We had everything before us. We had nothing before us. Did he catch the Industrial Revolution?
Yeah.
Depending on what side of it were you, if you were on the...
Can it be both?
Yeah, it was both. It was both because, like, majority of people were suffering, but, like...
Then there's the wealthy owners.
Yeah, it's like what they got, they accomplished, you know? It's like they invented so many things, they started, like, so much production, you know? Like, all these great things happened, but at a very high cost.
So who was Karl Marx? Karl Marx was a famous critic of capitalism. He collaborated with Friedrich Engels, right? That's his name. And they wrote the Communist Manifesto. It called upon oppressed workers across Europe to free themselves from capitalist enslavement. He was a socialist, and he did not like capitalism. He said it was full of flaws, and that the proletarians were being abused by the
bourgeoisie.
The bourgeoisie.
And here are the characteristics of socialist economies. Naturalization, public welfare, taxation, centrally planned economy.
Go ahead.
Nationalization, which is placing enterprises under government control, and they often take privately owned industries. They pay former owners that they consider a fair price, and socialist government usually want to control certain sectors with a lot of people.
Public welfare it's a name to guarantee public welfare by providing equal distribution of necessities and services. The countries that provide extensive social services are called welfare states, and it's things could be provided for them, such as inexpensive health care, education, retirement pensions, or housing for the poor. So it's a way of evenly distributing it all out, you know.
So let me ask you this question. Why do socialist economies view wealth as a pie that has to be redistributed, as opposed to capitalists who believe that pie is not fixed, but can ever grow if consumers and producers are allowed to do their thing.
Because they want to make sure that everyone gets a piece, whereas we don't care if everyone gets a piece, as long as those that get a piece, and they help grow, then they help the economy.
You're right, but I'm just asking, why do socialists view it as a fixed pie, and capitalists view it as a potentially growing pie?
Distribute it evenly, and capitalists are just kind of like doing their own thing and trying to
But
make
you
businesses.
hear what I'm saying?
But because we're based on a free market economy, and theirs is a command economy. Therefore, everything that they're doing is based on the government control, like nationalization,
Okay, and this is all true, but listen to what I'm saying. In a socialist economy, the pie is fixed. And there's only so much wealth, and it's the job of government to redistribute the slices of pie. But in a capitalist economy, it's believed that the pie can actually be what?
Growing.
It could grow.
Be enlarged. Why two totally different paradigms of thought on the economy?
I think in one way everyone will get equal, and in the other, even though if it grows, that doesn't mean that everyone's still going to be getting the same part. As it grows, as the numbers are growing, the pieces are going to be getting smaller, and it's just, yeah, it could grow, and like I think I get what you're saying is that it's fixed, that you only have this much, and you're going to use as much as this much offers you. It's not going to be able to grow. It's not going to be able to go down, and it all really comes down to the fact that there's two different types of economies, and although maybe some prefer capitalism that live in socialism, they're stuck right there for a while unless they come over here,
And what are some of the best-known socialist welfare states today that we know of? Today we have quite a few welfare states. What are the best-known? Give me some
I just
names.
seen them right now too.
Oh.
Germany's welfare state. Where else?
I think it was Britain.
Is Britain?
Yes, Great Britain, big time.
I don't know.
Who are the best-known socialist countries? They're the Scandinavian countries. Who are the Scandinavian countries?
Netherlands?
Netherlands is socialist, but who's Scandinavia?
Oh.
That's Northern Europe. Throughout those.
Normandy?
No.
Well, they were definitely socialist,
Were.
communist. How many of you have heard of Norway, Sweden, Finland, Iceland, Denmark?
What about the Netherlands?
Greenland?
Yeah.
And that wouldn't be all those benefits wouldn't be possible without taxation. Socialist states get their funds from taxation. Since the services are expensive, the taxes are also high. Most of the burden is placed on the middle and upper classes. And the people in this government, they need to pay high taxes in order for the government to give them all the benefits. So you pretty much, you get your basic needs taken care of, but you're paying high taxes, and you don't really get to choose where your money goes.
Making them out for more than maybe 90% of it to 50% of it. And it goes, depending on your class.
So it's one of those security versus individual choice things.
Yeah.
That's a good graphic right there.
Centrally planned economy. The government bureaucrats plan how an economy will develop over a period of years. They set targets for production and direct investment into specific industries.
So they choose what the country is going to invest and what they're going to move into.
So instead of the producer and the consumer asking and answering the three economic questions, in this case, the government asks and answers, which is what goods and services are to be produced, how will those goods and services be produced, and who gets to what? Consume those goods and services.
So pretty much the pros and the cons, as you guys can see. Well, the cons of it is that no competition means no reward. And if there's no reward, there's no incentives to work harder. And the new members of the community are seen as competition for the limited goods. Since you're talking about that pie, the new people that come in, now they got to share that small pie that's fixed. And higher taxes. The pros are no socioeconomic classes.
equal distribution of wealth, and each member's survival needs are met. Those who cannot contribute may still participate, and all members share the benefits. Which is pretty on point, right? You don't need to explain.
Danielle has a question.
Okay, so if you think about it, so capitalist economy gives you the choice to choose how you spend your money, right? And like all that, and the other one doesn't. But if you think about it, wouldn't it be possible for everyone to have equal wealth if they, in a capitalist society, if they were to learn how to use their wealth and where to get it? You see what I'm saying? Like, the other government chooses you how to do it and everyone's equal. But if in a capitalist society, if everyone like knew how to do it, couldn't they possibly be equal?
There won't. It won't.
Could it be possible?
In the capitalist, no, because you can't have this higher upper class without having a middle class. Because these rich firms, they need people. They need the middle class, and then if everybody was wealthy and rich, then there would be nobody to do the jobs like we're
And
gonna do.
nobody else wants.
And then that would just throw everything off. And then people are greedy with their money, and that's the drive, the profit.
And that pie would just stay the same.
I mean, who would want to work really hard and then have to share it with everybody?
Does that answer it?
Oh, happy single than I.
That boss. Oh.
Where's the food?
Counting my mom.